Well, good afternoon and welcome to Overdivest Nurseries in midsummer. It's a beautiful day. The temperature is fairly warm, but I'm glad to say there is also a nice breeze blowing. And so it makes for a very pleasant opportunity to take you out into the nursery here and to let you see some of the fabulous plants that you can think about growing in and around your home. And if you'd like to find out more about all the plants that we grow and the ones that are available through our network of partnering garden centres that are located right throughout this region, that's the Northeast in Mid-Atlantic states, I'd like to invite you to click and subscribe to our channel, because then as we post new videos, which we're doing all the time, you'll find they'll turn up automatically in your feed. Now, one of the tricks, of course, to having a good garden is to have plants that come in at different times during the growing season. And if you're thinking about having something in your garden during the summer months, when after all we tend to spend most of our time outdoors, then you might want to think about growing some of the plants that I have here on the wagon. These are, of course, Echinaceas or coneflowers. Lots and lots of different types and different colors with different characteristics, including ones that grow to different heights and also some ones with unusual and very vibrant color shades. And talking about an unusual variety, let me introduce you to this highly unusual form, which is called Echinacea sweet Sandia. Now, this is a variety that was raised at Terra Nova Nurseries in Oregon. Harini Kalopara heads up the breeding effort there and has brought us some highly unusual and very lovely varieties. And I remember her showing me this one just a few years ago and remarking how unusual it was, and more importantly than that, how it was an improvement over all of the other green flowering forms of coneflowers that I've seen over the years. They tended to be nice and certainly unusual, but they also tended to be somewhat irregular and sometimes not very vigorous, and sometimes also a little unshapely. Not this one. As you see, this variety is really something because it has this unusual kind of bicolor effect with the flowers that start out with this watermelon pink in the center and then go out to these large kind of spoon-shaped petals that have green tips to them. As the flowers unfold, you'll see that they really are something worth looking closely at, because these are flowers that are up to 4 inches or so wide, and they're also fragrant. But the thing I like most of all about this plant is that it's nice and stocky and sturdy and a good grower. A plant that's going to get to about 2 foot or so. It's going to make a really prominent display somewhere in your garden and certainly capture the attention of all of your garden visitors, people who will come to look at your garden, and you'll be able to show off all of the unusual things, including this spectacular variety. Now, just like the other coneflowers, it likes to grow in a sunny or partially shaded site. Not particularly difficult, it's hardy to zone 4, so it will grow anywhere within our region. The most important thing, like the other coneflowers, is to plant it in free draining soil. Coneflowers just really do not like to grow in soggy, wet conditions, so make sure your soil is free draining. Dig a good sized hole, then work in plenty of organic matter at planting time, and of course water it until it gets established. Once it becomes established, then you will see that it puts out a lot of these little buds, which then in turn will all come out to give this highly unusual flower, which incidentally resembles kind of watermelon pink. And that's where the name comes from, sweet Sandia, because the word Sandia means watermelon in Spanish. So here's a variety that will certainly capture lots of imagination, whether you grow it as a single specimen or plant it in amongst other varieties of coneflowers, One thing I would suggest you do, and that is that you use it as a cut flower, because these are nice big strong stems that will cut and hold up very well in a vase of water. So highly unusual, a very nice variety, and certainly a considerable improvement over other green flowered forms of coneflowers. This is Echinacea, sweet Sandia, from Terra Nova Nurseries.